Hello, my friends. My name is Darren Gerdes. I'm just a professor trying to provide you with some context in the war in Ukraine. Today is Monday, May 20th, 2024. And I saw this and I wanted to start with this. Andrew Perpetua does the tabulation of Russian and Ukrainian losses daily. And I saw this. I really hope it's a slow news day. I just woke up. Did I miss anything? It's not a slow news day. There's a lot that happened here. So 1,400 Russians off the battlefield. Yesterday I said by the end of the week, by Saturday, we will see this clock of 493, 690 tick over the 500,000 line. I think I'm going to revise that. It'll be Friday, maybe even Thursday at the rate at which they're going. Tanks, 14 tanks off the battle, 35 armored combat vehicles, 50 artillery pieces. We saw 60 vehicles and fuel tanks be destroyed, 81 UAVs. It's hot on the battlefield, but I don't spend a lot of time on the battlefield. I don't claim any expertise there, so I'm showing you other pieces of the puzzle as well. Russian attacks against Ukraine kill 12 and injure 55 over the past day. The hits keep coming, and this isn't at soldiers. This is attacking civilians. Again, Ukraine war briefing. Russian forces launched deadly attack, wait for it, on a Kharkiv lakeside resort, because apparently sending missiles at a lakeside resort is a brilliant military tactic. This is what they do. Here's another one. Russian downs a disabled Ukrainian in a wheelchair in a savage offense against Kharkiv Oblast. Really? You're attacking those that are in wheelchairs. But that's what they do. Okay, this is just a video footage. There's nothing actually happening except just panoramic view of Krinky in Kherson. Not long ago, people lived there, built greenhouses, put their strength and soul into agriculture. There was peace there, but the Russian world invaded. And this is what Russia calls liberation. Yep, that's it. But just madness. It's destruction. Okay, let's move on. Ukraine downs all 29 attack drones launched by Russia overnight. And remember, now we're talking about yesterday, there was a plane crash that where the president of Iran died. Iran is a supplier of these Shahed drones, and it's a strategic partner of Russia. So um, while Russia was reaching out and wishing their condolences, maybe some in other places like Ukraine might not feel so terrible about that. I don't think it'll change policy, but remember, those Shaheds came from Iran. UK transfers 80 air defense missiles, more than 1 million rounds of ammunition, drones, and mine clearance systems to Ukraine, according to the Defense Ministry. Quote, the world cannot wait. Ukraine needs us to step up so that they have what they need. Push Putin back. That's exactly what the UK has done today. Okay, and here's a little infographic, 80 air defense missiles. I don't know how long the air defense missiles will last with just 80, but 80 is not nothing, and if they keep sourcing these from other places, they'll have more. 20 mine clearance systems, 30 pallets of spare as well as vital spare parts, including anti-mine equipment, long-range surveillance, uniforms, 1 million rounds, 20 vehicles. So good. I mean, every little bit helps, and that's not just a little bit. Okay, as of May 20th. Now, the biggest problem that the Ukrainians have is actually conscription or mobilization. They're starting to get the weapons that they need to be able to prosecute the fight, but they need the soldiers. Uh, Zelensky just signed the law for mobilization recently. As of May 20th, 13 p.m. Kyiv time, nearly 420,000 conscripted citizens of Ukraine have already registered in the Reserve Plus app and filled out the necessary data, as reported by the Ministry of Defense. I think this is somewhat similar to our selective service process in the United States. It's just done digitally on mobile phones. Okay, switching gears. Ukraine says naval forces destroyed another Russian warship. And this was an article yesterday, so it was an early article in Maritime Executive. Unconfirmed reports circulating on the internet are suggesting, though it might have been more significant strike on a Russian Kurt-class corvette named Cyclone, that's Cyclone, which was only commissioned in 2023. It's a very new ship. There have been no independent confirmations at this point when they wrote it of the strike and general vague denials from the Russians. Even Maritime Executive writes like this, like, they just say they claim this, but, A Russian official in Sevastopol wrote on social media that the air defense was working and that there was no damage to civilian infrastructure. I'm sorry. Here's an article in Radio Free Europe. Actually, this information is still being verified because in order to be 100% sure, it's still necessary to obtain the appropriate results of objective control. As soon as we have these results, we will definitely inform the public about it. But yes, listen to this. There is a fairly high probability that there is no carrier of cruise missiles in Crimea now. Did you hear that? No carrier of cruise missiles in Crimea now. I'm going to explain why that's important in just a moment. If the information about the Cyclone is confirmed. And it looks like, according to Astra, 3 Attack missiles hit the pier in Sevastopol, where the Russian small ship Cyclone was moored. The ship sank. Astra sources. Astra sources in the emergency services of the annexed Crimea confirmed the information that previously appeared in Z channels about the attack on a Cyclone ship. According to our data, on the night of May 19th, Sevastopol was attacked by at least 12 Attack missiles. 9 of them were shot down. 3 hit the pier where the small ship Cyclone is located. The ship sank. Number of death and injury is unknown. Now, again, let's go back to this. There's a fairly high probability that there is no carrier of cruise missiles in Crimea now. And yesterday I was watching Johnny Pierce. Actually, my 8-year-old was sitting there with her bowl of cereal, just watching him, like intrigued by watching Johnny. So you got fans over here, Johnny. And he said this about the minesweeper that was attacked yesterday, not last night, but the night before.
It is a bad day there for the Russians, it seems. Now, it gets worse. There's a ship that's supposedly been sunk. It is a minesweeper, so not the most offensive of ships for the Russians to lose. It'd be nice if they could lose a cruise missile carrier.
Well, they just did, Johnny. And so apparently somebody in Ukraine was listening to you, and there we are. Okay, let's keep going. India will attend the conference on Ukraine and Switzerland. Indian Prime Minister Modi has confirmed this, and that's really interesting. And it's important because the BRICS have pretty much opted out of anything related to the Ukrainian peace process. That's Brazil, India, China, and Russia are the countries that make up the BRICS. And then there's BRICS Plus that adds a few others, but that India is going is actually important and worth understanding. Okay, due to massive shelling, Ukraine has lost up to 90% of thermal power plant capacity, as reported by MP Kirkchenko. We have lost 8,000 megawatts. 8,000 megawatts of electricity. Yesterday, I spoke with the energy workers. Out of 8,000, only 800 are operational, he said. So that's 90% of thermal capacity destroyed or damaged because of what the Russians are doing, attacking thermal plants and playgrounds and civilian buildings and a guy in a wheelchair. Okay, Ukraine attacked, and what's Ukraine doing as a response here? And they're fighting on the front lines, and the fighting on the front lines is tough, and I don't want to minimize that because it is really tough, but here we are. Ukraine attacked 2 oil refineries and a military airfield in Krasnodar Krai. Reportedly, 1 fighter jet was damaged. Here's another. The footage of Russia's Luhansk oil refinery is learning a valuable life lesson on the night of May 19th. That's located down here. There was a strike reported in Luhansk. And what was going on with that strike? The Ukrainian army hit a Russian base in the town of Uvalini, located in the suburbs of temporarily occupied Luhansk, according to the Luhansk Military Administration. Explosions and big plumes of smoke in occupied Luhansk, possibly a missile strike, so it's probably the same thing. But the real lesson here is this, and this guy summarized it really well. All these recent successful Ukrainian strikes involving ATACMS have a very strong aftertaste of missed opportunities in 2022. We self-deterred far too long, and now they're showing some impressive results with these ATACMS strikes. But what could have been if we had been willing to do this sooner? All right, that's all. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscribes, and thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.